Today we're going to be playing an Abzan control list and we're going to be running everybody's favorite enchantment. I'm talking about skeletal swarming. Cue the intro. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're talking about an Abzan control list with everybody's favorite enchantment, skeletal swarming. And we've got a lot of really cool new cards from the new set that we've not had the chance to run, like the Celestis. So I'm really excited about this one and breaking this one down for you. But as always, if you guys like the video and you find some value in this, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, it is a free way to help support the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And let's see if we can get this thing over 100 likes, man. I'd really appreciate that as well. We don't typically shoot for a like goal, but I think 100 likes would be pretty phenomenal, guys. So with that being said, let's jump into it, talk about the list, and then we'll get into the gameplay footage. So it's an Abzan control list where we're trying to win the game with a skeletal swarming, essentially, right? So the reason I went back to a skeletal swarming deck is because I don't really think there's a whole lot in the meta right now that's dealing with enchantments very well. There are some artifact removal cards. You know, we're looking at things like a Seeker's Chariot and stuff, but not everyone is running enchantments anymore. It's pretty uncommon to see enchantments being ran, so I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of answers if we can get this thing resolved. So if we can get it resolved, this can slowly win us a game over time, and we just need to basically back it up with a handful of, you know, really good control spells to make sure we survive. We're gaining life, we're doing all the things we should be doing to just get to that late game, and eventually our skeletal swarming will take over and win us the game. So how do we do that? Well, we've got a couple of sweepers. A card we haven't seen in a while, but I've been dying to play again. Culling Ritual. This is a really good sweeper for mono green, mono white, because what it does is it wipes out all the permanents from mana to, you know, converted mana cost 2 or less, and everything we kill, we actually get that mana replaced for that turn. So if you can kill up to 4 creatures, this card is essentially played for free on your one turn, which is really good. And then we've also got the new Meat Hook Massacre, of course, because it's a freaking amazing removal tool, which also gains us a lot of life. And with skeletal swarming, it can deal a lot of damage in the late game, as well as Lulth, which you can see we have 3 of right here. It puts down a lot of bodies as well, which can help us as well deal damage. So Meat Hook Massacre is just really good, especially in this list. It synergizes pretty well. Like I said before, we run the Celestis. This card right here is going to be the way that we get card value out of our engine. So we're going to be sifting through cards like crazy. Thanks to this card right here, we're going to be putting it on the field, and it's going to act as a really nice mana rock because it can act for any certain color of mana, but just naturally over our opponent deciding either to not make any plays or make 2 plays a turn. The day and night cycle is going to keep shifting, which is going to allow us to go through our deck, throw away cards we don't need, bring in cards we do need, and gain a little bit of life over time. So this card right here is really, really cool, and I'm actually going to be throwing it in most of my control shells from here on out moving forward. We've also got 2 Binding the Old Gods for some removal. A full set of Cram Session. Cram Session is going to gain us 4 life and allow us to go to our sideboard. This is a really underrated learn card, if I'm being completely honest. I've always been a big fan of this card, but especially now with everything being so aggressive, Cram Session is very, very helpful. We've also got 3 Vanishing Verses for, you know, just some spot removal. One of the best removal cards you can have, really, with the exiling effect. And then we don't have a really great matchup with control lists like Izzet. So I threw in Check for Traps as our card to help, you know, win those types of matchups, those bad matchups. Check for Traps is going to allow us to go into our opponent's hand, take something out of it, and exile it, which is great because you want to exile these things like Memory Deluge, things with flashback that can keep causing us issues. Galvanic Iteration. So really problematic cards. Check for Traps can get rid of those permanently. We've also got Sunset Revelry. It's a great way to get back into a game. This thing allows us to gain life, put creatures down, and draw cards. It's really, really nice. We've also got the Paladin class, because if we can actually pump this to level 2 or even 3, these skeletons become basically unable to be dealt with. They're going to run through our opponent really quickly because they're going to get a little bit of a buff. And then you throw Double Strike on something with Trample that's already like 5 or 6 power. It's basically an Embercleave. So that's why that's in there. And then we've got 2 Field of Ruin, and then the mana's a little bit all over the place, but unfortunately we have, you know, a lot of, none of the new lands really make a whole lot of sense in this list because it's only green and white. And then the other 2 colors we have Snarls, which is never really great, so we have to run 1 Snarl a piece. So we have to spread this out in a really unique way, but I think I got the mana base pretty well covered here, really well versed. And then our sideboard, we chose 2 environmental sciences of reduced to memory, containment breach, pest summoning, introduction to prophecy, and mascot exhibition. If you want the full deck list, it is going to be down below in the description. Go ahead and click that. It'll lead you over to the Aether Hub, and then just go ahead and copy and paste the link right into Arena, and you're good to go. But that's the deck list, guys. We're going to jump into the gameplay footage now, and we'll see you guys back here for some final thoughts at the end. Till then, peace. All right, here we go. Time to grind it out, man. We got some work to do. Got some work to do to get back to them numbers, man. We were doing too much experimentation. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this list is kind of coming together right now. This is going to be a really fun one, and this hand is not bad at all. Going second, but at least we have a Revelry to kind of fix things for us if it gets a little out of hand. Love this card. One of the best cards, I think, out there. Such a great card. Cram Session also helps with a lot. You know, getting to be able to go to our sideboard and get some options is great. And then we got a little bit of removal. This is like about as perfect as you can get, but I would like to see some cards now come through for us that are, you know, advancing our win cons a little bit. Maybe a Loth or some Skeletal Swarming. We'll see. All right, let's get the campus into play. Campus, and then we'll follow it up. I don't really want to play this for white. We don't have a whole lot of white cards, just these 2 really. So I'd rather play this on turn 3 if possible, obviously, so it doesn't come in on tap. So I'll probably go for the Cram Session. That's probably what we'll end up doing here. Go straight Cram Session. We're up against mono white, so got to keep that in mind. Mono white. I think I'm actually just going to grab this because I have a really decent hand here. I'm not too worried about what's in my hand currently. I need to find a sweeper. That would be great. A sweeper would be the best thing I could find for sure. Vanishing Verse is going to be super helpful here. That's what we'll end up doing. Field of Ruin blows up the Faceless Haven. That's a good top deck there at the time being. They're not going to have too many targets to exile, so the Stonebinder is familiar. Not going to exactly get a big buff here, unless, of course, they have, like, yeah, Spellbinder, of course, as I'm saying it out loud. All right, Vanishing Verse, the adversary for sure. Let's see what Spellbinder wants to take. Sunset Revelry takes care of, you know, chump blocking the familiar for a while. Gotta use the binding for the Spellbinder. What are they going to grab? I would grab the binding if I were them, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of like good stuff in our hand for real. Man, they are really thinking about this one. I thought it'd be a no-brainer with that binding, but I guess they really don't know. Well, drink break. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, by the way. Oh, they take my check for traps, man. What in the world? Definitely not the card I would have grabbed. All right, binding it is. Let's get a little bit of ramp going here. And yes, they go and then Field of Ruin, blow up the Faceless Haven somewhere down the road. Not too worried about that at the moment. Sure, they're going to keep playing creatures until they're out of their hand before they decide to come in with that Faceless Haven. And just the familiar. I don't have any mana open though, so I don't know if they're trying to draw something out of me, but sure, okay. I really would like to find the ritual. If I found a ritual, that would be so good. All right. I suppose it's not a terrible idea to get this going right now. I mean, our life total is 18 right now, so up against mono white, if we're at 18, we're looking pretty darn good. And skeletal swarming, the sooner we can get it down, the better it's going to be for us. So let's just get it going now. Get it going and get it building. And then, yeah, if we get in any trouble, like I said, we can chump block these low to the ground things really easily. We got the Celestis, which is great for some card advantage, or at least kind of sifting through our deck here to find what we need. I really wonder why they took that check for traps. I'm not too sure what the goal was there. They must have had something in their hand they really didn't want us to grab. Skeletal Swarming though is really nice because it avoids all of their exile. It doesn't get hit by, you know, any of that portable hole stuff, any sort of the Cathars or apparitions. It doesn't get hit by any of that stuff. So all right, they portable hole my one skelly. Taking 4, no big deal. All right, we're gonna play this and this first, and then we can get some cards when we play the Sunset Revelry. So that's what we'll do. Get some life gain, get some cards, and we still have enough to play a Prophecy. Let's go. Cram Session is a good card. It gains us 4 life, and it allows us to go to a sideboard, which will find us Mascot Exhibition, which is all we really need at this point, and we can start closing this game out here. These skeletons are going to start doing some serious work for us. They're just going to try to get really big and go over the top. They only attack with the 1 because they don't want me to double block their other familiar or their usher, which is good for us. I mean, that was a scared play for sure. They were playing scared. Mascot Exhibition. Skelly go in. We're going to get 2 Skellies now. The problem with this play, though, and the fact that the Skellies have to keep coming in is that right there. They're going to be able to get that life gain. Not for long, though, but just being able to chump those to get the life gain is tough. The Adversary is quite the card. We got a good looking board, though, here. Healthy looking board. They take our 4/4. I'm actually happy they took that instead of a skeleton, because again, we would just be feeding a skeleton into their adversary, and that would be really bad. So I'm happy they took that, and now our skeletons are still two power. That way they kill the adversary if they decide to block. I honestly still wouldn't mind off the top here if we could just grab a ritual. I guess we can play both, can't we? All right, let's go here first. Adversary dead. Check for traps. We're exiling whatever this is. All right, nice. It's a card they could have used, so I'm glad we were able to get rid of that. And skeletons go in. I guess we send all of it. Let's just put the pressure on our opponent here. Put the pressure on our opponent because, you know, we're pretty evenly matched in health, and I think our board state is a lot healthier than theirs. Like, we're going to keep gaining all these skeletons every single turn. And so I'm okay with this. And they lose 3 creatures on the play. I love it. Okay. Love it, love it. Let's go. Faceless Haven's coming down. We know that. Or not. They're going to use it to defend. Okay. That means we get to take action on the Celeste. But the problem with the Celestis is that we're going to just discard the card anyway. So let's just decline. We didn't know what we were going to get there, so we had to be careful. All right, let's get in. And we're going to blow up the Faceless Haven when they bring it down to block with it. So bring down the Faceless Haven. Yep, we blow it up. See you later. And then we get in. They block one of these. We get 2 skeletons. So we're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. We can also activate the Celestis here. If we do that, though, the Brute will turn back. Just something to keep in mind. The Brute will turn back, so we got to be careful. And if the Brute turns back, then it turns into the Cathar, and it can exile our stuff. So we're going to not do the Celestis right this moment. But we are going to hold on to the land. So when we do actually, you know, change it from night to day, we can discard the Snarl. All right, they're gonna really invest here into the brute, which makes sense. We're gonna have death touch on this next go around, but they have first strike, so it doesn't really matter. I could do this now though. No, let's not. I'm sorry, we can't do that now. All right. Let's get in for an attack here. Attack with all of these, obviously, and this goes over the top. We're still winning the race here, so I'm okay with this. They don't activate Faceless Haven this time. Interesting. They take a bunch of damage off that. We'll go in and do one of these. Let's not forget about our campus that's on the field. We can actually go and, you know, scry into our deck a little bit here. They take the flyer. I wouldn't have done that. I would have definitely taken a skeleton there. That's a big positive for us there. Another one. No good. No good. Yeah, now we get massive amount of skeletons here. Okay. We just keep top decking land. Not great, but it's okay. We are running 26 lands. The first game I played with this list, we got mana screwed. So I went with 26 lands. I wasn't sure how it would pan out, but looks like it's doing okay. Thought we would get flooded, and we kind of are, but it's all good. Sentinel's down, which is going to exile a card from our graveyard. Sure. No problem there. We're going to go for the scry here off of our land. They pump the Sentinel, which can't attack this turn. I guess they're just more so preparing for the blocks. And it's another cram session. It's a useful card. I mean, it's not something I should throw away and then potentially, you know, get terrible top deck, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and cram session here. We might just cycle out the land. Let's see what I want to do. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Ooh, Calling Ritual. Little late here, Calling Ritual. Little late. Wish that was at another time. All right, let's get in there with all these skellies, see what happens here. So they're gonna eat up 3 of the damage with that bad boy. They take 8 damage. Wow. Oh, I suppose it actually is an 8. Oh, okay. All right, let's activate this. I know it's going to turn our Cathar back here. Just trying to close this out here. Take action, and it's a land. Okay. This is no good anymore just because our opponent's things are 3 converted mana cost, you know what I'm saying? So kind of no good here, unfortunately. Opponent's still at only 6 life. It's only a matter of time that we get him. It's just waiting. The Cathar is going to transform again, but we do get to get our Celestis again, which is great. So no problems there. Yeah, we'll definitely take the 2 damage. Oh, I forgot to scry. Shoot. Forgot to scry. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I brought it up earlier. I was like, we got to make sure we remember to scry and yada yada. Vanishing Verse. Finally something very useful. The most problematic card out here, man. This thing's been doing some work for our opponent here, so we got to get rid of that. And I'm pretty sure that'll do it. Pretty sure that'll do it, my friends. What a tough little first game here against mono white, but I am actually glad it was against mono white. I think we could have had a much easier game there had we gotten the Calling Ritual like a lot earlier. We could have absolutely just ran through our opponent, but it is what it is. Good game. What's the point of having such a cool sweeper like Calling Ritual if you don't get a chance to really showcase it, man? I need it in my opening hand, and I need this to be another aggressive matchup. Mono green, maybe. But no, we don't get it. But I do get a Celestis and a Swarming. So we get the Swarming out a turn early. I gotta keep this for sure. For sure. See what our opponent's up to here. Okay, it looks like it's gonna be... Is it? Almost positive of it. Almost positive we're seeing Is it here. Oh, it's Gruul. Okay. So it is an aggressive style list. I respect that. I respect that. Celestis down. Skeletal Swarming already coming out next turn. And then we're just going to start controlling the board, man. Control the board while the skeletons just do their thing. They're going to get a gold span early, though, which is tough. We have ways to deal with it, though. All right, the Regent, not terrible. I mean, we can kill it with our Binding the Old Gods. We could do it right now, or we could, like I said, get it an early Skeletal Swarming. I think I gotta kill this Regent, because the Regent's basically... So let's read it real quick together. Let's read this. So whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards. So they're probably actually not going to do that ability right this moment, are they? So I think Skeletal Swarming's fine. I can't imagine they're going to discard their hand to draw cards for, you know, 2 or 3 mana. Like, it's not... Let's just say the card that they discard has 3 different colors. They're going to draw 3 cards and discard 5? I don't think so. All right. Yeah, they didn't do that. I did not think that was going to be the case. All right. Taking some heat here, but that's fine. We got ways to gain life. A lot of ways to gain life, to be precise. So let's bind. And which one would I rather have exiled? Probably the dragon, right? I doubt they're going to have any sort of graveyard effects, but if they do, I would assume it would be getting back a dragon. So let's make sure that goes to exile. And I think we're looking really good right now. I think we're looking really good. We'll get the Celeste going here in a moment, but in the meantime, just keep building up these skeletons. All they have is an Innkeeper, which I know it does gain them life, but we should be all right. There's the gold span. Sunset Revelry is not going to get us any critters to block with, which is fine. I mean, we can't block the gold span dragon anyways. But we are going to draw a card. Let's see what card we get. Hopefully some more removal. Oh, they negate it. Oof, that's not good. That is really not good. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. No bueno. Okay. At least we get one more skeleton here, and that is presenting, let's see, 8, 16. So we are presenting lethal. So if they want to swing in recklessly here with their dragon, they can. If they activate the Hydra, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8. They only have 9 damage, so they can't kill me here. Unless they have a burn spell. Wow, they're gonna... Okay, do they have something in hand? Because we have 16 on deck here of damage. Do we have them here? Did they do bad math? Could have a burn spell. No, they lose. They just lose. Wow. I don't know what they were thinking there on that attack. I guess they probably activated the Hydra thinking they were good, and then once they actually activated it, realized they were in too deep to back out. I don't know. We'll take it. GG. All right, couple good games there. One long one really quick one. So that was good stuff. Yeah, I was really worried about that gold span, man. I probably played that incorrectly if I think about it, because I probably shouldn't have focused so hard on that first dragon and maybe anticipated that gold span dragon, but I don't know. It would have been tough. It would have been tough either way. What a weird hand we have here, huh? If we're up against control, this is going to be a really good hand. If we're up against removal, it's still kind of a good hand because we got the massacre, but the mana is just crazy. This is some wacky mana here. No third land here. Opponent kept 7. I'm gonna keep it and hope for the best. We might just lose this game based on that keep, but we're about to find out. Check for traps is the reason I kept it. And we're seeing Demir. Okay, so they are probably a control list, which is good that we kept these. If they foretell something here, though, it's unfortunate because I would like to grab it before they can foretell. All right. Oh, nice. We get our land. Beautiful. Yes, please. Yes, please. All right, Deluge is gone. These two things are actually pretty problematic because they can sweep my skeletal swarming a couple of times, but ultimately they keep coming back anyway, so not the best thing they can do. I hope they don't cram session and grab something to kill an artifact or enchantment. That could be bad. Yeah, they did this a little early, so I doubt that's going to be the case. Nice. Okay. Let's see what we hit now. Let's take their meat hook, because that's going to gain them life and make us, you know, take some damage. So let's just steal that. I know we're giving them the land. I probably could have taken that and forced them to use their Seagate, but they top deck land anyway, so it would have been the wrong play. So now instead they're flooded. They went from being, you know, not enough land to now being flooded, so it's good. By the way, this is a really good card they could have got from us because it's not that important, and especially not for, you know, them having it. It's fine. They can have that all day. All right, here we go. Let's get the Celeste down. Celestis and say go. We got 2 skeletal swarmings. It's looking really good for us right now. At least from what we can see, it's looking really good. Let's just hope that's not a binding that they took from us. That would be really bad. Wish I can get that Seagate out of their hand because they're going to be able to actually cast that soon. Sunset Revelry. Interesting. I think it was a no-brainer there, slamming the skeletal swarming. And then we get another one next turn, and then we just start running through our opponent here. There's not going to be anything they can do. They can obviously sweep the board. I'm just saying, ultimately, over time, it's going to take an effect pretty heavy. They're looking to maybe pump up the Paladin class, it looked like. Which, if that's the case, they definitely don't have anything good to do with their mana. I don't need this. It would be good, but I probably don't need it. Here we go. 2 skellies. Boom, boom. And now they're 5/1s with trample. Ooh, what are you going to do about that, brother? They're probably going to Shadow's Verdict now. Save them at least a turn. Don't blame them. I'm telling you, though, if this is a binding they stole from us, it's going to really suck. I hope that's not the case. All right, they just go for a lot of cards here, and they're going to take a big, big hit. Wait. Shoot, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done the Sunset Revelry first because they have more health than us. That was a mistake. I should have done that first. Drew a card, but it is what it is. We'll go with the cram session instead. I don't really want to commit too much of this stuff. I think we just hold on to it and just keep beating them down with the skellies. Probably get more of a win con here. Do I throw down this Lolth? I feel like if we get Verdict, yeah, let's do, you know what? Let's do the Lolth, and we're going to actually draw a card. Because if we commit the spiders to the board, we lose loyalty, and then on top of that, they're going to, we know they're going to Shadow's Verdict, so we're just going to lose the spiders anyways. So let's just wait to use the spiders next turn. And one of these can go, sure. The Celestis is such a good card, man. It's just all the passive value you get from it is just so good. You don't have to do anything. It just passively gets you more cards and lets you figure out what you want you know, and play with, you know, specific cards based on the matchup that you have, whether it be control or aggro. You need to look for certain things. It's a great way to deal with a lot of the things right now, and it ramps you, which is phenomenal. All right, they cram session here. 3 cards in hand, plus a lesson that they're gonna grab. What do they grab though? We could pop a 3rd skeletal swarming, which would be nuts. What are the, I mean, there's no way, right? I was gonna say there's no way they can deal with these. I'm trying to think of what they could possibly run to deal with them, but I don't think they have anything in those colors. I really don't. 3 7/1s with trample. They're just gonna have to keep on sweeping the board. And if they don't have it, they don't have it, and they lose the game. It's just gonna take 1 turn for them to miss a sweeper, and we just run through them. And they do have a sweeper, and it's my own card. Oh my gosh, Culling Ritual, you freaking nightmare. What a problematic card that was for us. At least the colors they get is green and black. They took green for some reason. I don't know why. I guess that's a good reason. Yeah, they probably should have done all black mana. I think they wasted a bit of that. Definitely gonna grab a white source again. Just keep my mana the way it is. Lult is at 6 right now. Really high loyalty. I could crack the sunset and get a card. And a couple of critters. That's probably what we'll end up doing. If I top deck a land, that's what I'll do. Nothing? Okay, perfect. Ooh, it's a cram session. Let's go for the cram session. See what we can get here from our sideboard. Probably going to get the introduction here, the prophecy. So I could draw some cards. Yeah. I could still play the Sunset Revelry. If I find a land on top here, and if I decide to take it, it all depends on what our cards here are. Yeah, I'll take the land. Now we draw a card and create 2 critters. Anytime you can get 2 or, you know, up, you know, anywhere from 2 to 3 of these, it's always worth playing. It's so much value. It really is. For 2 mana, any of those things that happen on that card are good enough. Like any one of those things is good enough to pay 2 for. But to get more than 1 is good. Like it's really good. All right, skeletal swarming popping off again. They're all going to be 7/1s again. And our opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. The odds of them having another sweeper is pretty low, but they do run both Shadow's Verdict and Meathook Massacre, so can't count that out completely. And the fact that our skeletons are 1 toughness makes Meathook Massacre really good. Really, really good. Okay, Shadow's Verdict. The beauty of this is like it's just a matter of time, right? It's just we're just sitting here and enjoying the view. It's just a matter of time. Our life total is extremely high. Lulth is doing its thing. Skeletons are doing their thing. Celestis is drawing us cards.
A pity our time is over.
What are you doing, sir? You got yourself some instant speed reactions. Obviously the Field of Ruin is holding up priority too, so it could be that, but always got to be aware of that. Whenever priority is being held, keep an eye out for some trickery and nonsense, maybe some removal.
You could have such power.
And pass the turn. All right, if you have another sweeper, I'm going to be pretty upset, but again, I still probably will end up winning this game. We'll see. I really like this deck a lot. It's really been pretty easy matchups and everything so far. I'm pretty happy with it. That's a good sign. That's called a desperation removal. They take some damage from it too, so that usually means it's no sweeper coming, unless they top deck one, of course, but their hand had no sweepers because they wouldn't have done that if they had a sweeper. Should see a scoop here, to be honest. Divide by 0. Okay. Which means they get to go to their sideboard and get some stuff. 2, 5, 6, 7. They could get a mascot here and drop it down for some blocks. But all of these spiders have menace. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. They're clawing and hanging on here. They're hanging on tight. And it was a land as the last card. I keep forgetting that can only be, is it sorcery speed? Yeah, only a sorcery. There's the scoop. I knew it was a matter of time, but yeah, I was trying to activate that Celestis on their turn, but you can't do that. It can only be activated as a sorcery card. GG's though, let's go. All right, let's get one more clean victory here and call it a video, man. And then I'll continue my grind back to the numbers, and hopefully by Wednesday we'll have another video for you. Hopefully in the top 1500, we'll see. Opponent goes first, but we get such a good starting hand again. We have so many good 2-drops that I think that's why this deck works so well. Is you know your opening hand's gonna have at least 1 or 2 really good 2-drops. All right, we'll keep. I like that we've been getting Field of Ruin too in the opening hands because we only have 2 of them. I used to run 3 or even 4 of them in my control lists, but lately it's been giving me 2 to 3 every single game. So I was like, you know what, I can't have that. So let's just cut them back down to 2. And it seems to be giving me 1 every game still, which is pretty wild, but let's hold the Sunset Revelry. Nothing's happened yet. We are against Izzet. This is probably going to be our toughest matchup, I can't lie. These Revelries aren't going to be very good against Izzet. And you know they foretold that card is probably going to be Auron's Epiphany already. So not looking great. We have 3 of these, so might as well throw them down. I know I'm running probably right into a Jawari Disruption, but I have 3 of them, so might as well get them out of their hand, huh? Divide by 0. Yeah, getting 3 of these is not exactly great top decking. The top decks are pretty weak. A divide into a teachings is like so good, man, because you know you're gonna divide something back to your opponent's hand and then they're gonna have more cards than you. It always works out so well. All right, let's do it again. Let's just run this right into a Jawari Disruption. It is what it is. Another divide. Okay, I knew this would be a bad matchup for us. Izzet has just too many cards that play against us. I'm more built around beating the aggressive matchup, but I mean, if we can just resolve a Celestis and a Skeletal Swarming, the rest should take care of itself. But the problem is resolving those things, right? Izzet's the only deck that I know that's going to be running all those counter style spells. So that's what we really got to look out for. I might just play this to get the life and draw a card. That's pretty good, actually. So that's actually a really good top deck if you think about it, because we got things like a Goldspan Dragon we got to worry about. And so if we can resolve a Lulth, that would be fantastic. I was pretty down on this game, but I'm starting to think we might have a shot here. Yeah, I was pretty down on it. I was like, man, this is going to be a rough matchup, but all right, we're definitely taking action because we got to get rid of these. So let's take some action here. All right, do we try to resolve Lulth here, or do we go for a cram session and go for more mana? I think we go for more mana. I'm just really worried about the counter spells, man. But what if they're not there? Test of Talents, I've seen that a lot lately. Doesn't hit Lulth. Jawari Disruptions everywhere. They've already shown us one. think I'm just gonna do this. Get rid of this other Celestis here. See if we can't get another land. No. Are they gonna disrupt this? I would actually really like it if they disrupted this. That way it's out of their hand. Unexpected windfall. Okay. So they get rid of some of this removal stuff that they got. That's fine. Test of Talents. We knew they were gonna have those. So Test of Talents does not hit our Lulth, which is great. And it doesn't hit our Skeletal Swarming. Those are kind of the two main win cons we have. So it's not like they can grab those. So totally fine with that. What do they got for us? Is it going to be Goldspan yet? Or is it just going to be an all-round Epiphany Slam? Nope, it's going to be a copy of all-round Epiphany. Got it, got it. We're at 26 life total, so it's going to take them a while to kill us. And we have the Meat Hook Massacre, so I'm not really like as worried as I normally would be for them getting 2 extra turns. But because it's just the, you know, the 1/1 birds with no Goldspan out yet, I'm feeling okay about it because we have the Meat Hook Massacre. The Hall of the Storm Giants next turn is going to hurt, but we're at 26 life total. So, I mean, we're still above 20 going into their final turn. Definitely going to take advantage of that. All right, nice. I'll probably get rid of a Revelry here. These are actually probably pretty good against, like I said, Goldspan and whatnot. So, or even Lear. I don't think they're going to play Lear. This looks more like a straight Izzet Goldspan list, but... All right, here comes the Hall. And do I finally get a turn? I do. Finally getting a turn here. I'm gonna gain 4 life, and I won't get any blockers. I think this is still the better play. All right, let's do this for 1. Let's do this for 1. Hit the Celeste. Nice. Okay. And the Revelry can go. I really thought I was going to need a Revelry, but it looks like we're not going to need it because we're going to blow up the Hall with our Field of Ruin eventually. Nice. Okay, I'm actually happy that's the play they decided to go with here. Because, like I just said, we're going to blow that up next turn with our Field of Ruin. They're going to blow mine up first. Okay. Well played, well played. Very well played. So they are really going to commit then on that Hall. So be it. Of course we top deck more land. I was going to get rid of a land there, but I was like, nah, we kind of need them. And then, of course, we top deck another one. All right, so we're definitely going to play the Lulth because you can block the Hall of the Storm Giants. We need the chump blockers while we can. Vanishing Verse seems okay, just in case that Goldspan comes down. Could get Test of Talented, though. Do they really have another all runs here? That's so unfortunate. Oh, it's Fading Hope. Okay. Which does mean the Hall gets to come in and swing, which is probably going to end up killing our Lulth. They have exactly enough mana to do it, too. I wonder, though, if they would actually go Lulth or if they'd go face. Starting to wish I didn't throw away those Revelries, huh? They go face. Okay. So they're giving us a couple of card draws here. And it's switching to daytime too, so we get to draw an extra card. Extra card. Ooh, there it is. There's our answer. There's our answer. Doing it right away before they can do any sort of reaction or response to it. All right. Nice. That's actually a really good top deck. I'll take that all day. Let's get their final card out of their hand because it could be something really good that could win them the game, like a gold span. So gotta get it out of their hand. It's a test of talents. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Skeletal Swarming's coming in hot. And they're on their top deck. They have no lands that can become creatures. They have nothing they can copy, just a land in their hand. So it's literally going to come down to whatever they top deck while we're just gaining incremental value. They could obviously top deck the nuts, which would be a gold span dragon, and win the game. If I lose that way, it is what it is. I would hate to lose that way, but I mean, it's happened many, many times, but it is what it is. This Celestis is just turning left and right, left and right. I love it. All right, let's draw another card. We need to find some stuff here. Cram Session would be phenomenal. Ooh, that's good too.
I know the knowledge.
That's good too because it's life gain. Let's just draw another card though real quick. I need the life gain so we don't get, you know, suddenly top decked on the gold span and die. So let's take action. Calling Ritual. Okay. Okay. Let's gain the 4 life. Get in for an attack here. We have an answer for any sort of creature. Bam, we take care of it. Easy peasy. More skeletons coming. Looking good right now. We're looking really, really good. I'm really happy with this. If they top deck an all runs Epiphany, that could be pretty bad. Ugh, that's also really annoying. Shoot. I'm surprised they didn't copy that. That would have been even way worse if they copied it. What did they get? Because you know it's something good. I mean, they just deluged. They get to go find some really good stuff there. And there's an all runs Epiphany. Okay. So let's be ready for that. Oh man, did we lose this because they top decked the deluge? That card is so good. Memory Deluge, man. Oh, that's a good top deck. Not bad.
I'll tell you a secret.
Lulth is nice because we can block the 1/1 flyers, right?
Darkness will swallow the light. I will cull the weak.
All right, we're gonna draw a card here, gain some life. Gain some life. Nice. Okay. Discard a card. Did we play a land this turn? I think we did. I think we did. All right, get in there, do some damage. We're down to 9 though, and we know they're copying an all runs Epiphany, which is gonna allow them to play 2 extra turns, which means we're gonna see another Memory Deluge, I'm sure. I'm just curious though as to what other threats they might have. It's got to be the gold span, right? Which we're ready for. We have the Vanishing Verse. But if they top deck a Test of Talents with the gold span, then there's no way we can win. Man, we actually turned this whole thing around too, and we're looking so good. 1 card, Memory Deluge, just turned this whole game around in an instant. All right, I like seeing land. It's 1 less card I got to worry about. I don't know if like they're debating on playing like a gold span first or okay. Maybe I'm just too obsessed with the gold span. Maybe it's not even in there. I doubt it, but okay. This is a first. I've actually never seen someone Galvanic iteration their own Galvanic iteration. What a creative play. I never even thought about this. This is actually a fantastic idea. Good on them for that. So they're gonna get 3 extra turns. Very nice. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Yes, let's go ahead and get some cards here. It's quite the top deck if I can survive. If I can survive this. No way. They have another one? Even if it's just a fading hope, actually, they win, huh? Okay. Oh, they're creating creatures. I thought they were sweeping the board. Okay. Well, that's definitely a wrap, guys. That's the game. We take an L there against the Is It Dragons. I kind of had a feeling that was going to be a bad matchup for us, and I honestly thought we had them there, too, for a moment. We were really grinding them down, but it is what it is. What a solid way to end the game, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up here with some final thoughts. Peace. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really appreciate you all hanging out and making it this far into the video. We're gonna talk about the deck breakdown now. We're gonna talk about what we like, dislike, things like that. And before we do that though and dive in, I want to say a quick thank you. If you did make it this far into the video, it helps the algorithm so much. You have no idea, and it actually pushes our videos out to more people. So thank you so much for being here. If you can hear the sound of my voice, and I really appreciate all of you for that. So with that being said, let's talk about it a little bit. I love this list. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it has some really cool ideas and synergies behind it, and I think it works really well. I was very surprised at how well it actually performed. It has really good answers for so many things in the meta. But as far as things I would change, I actually do think I would make some changes here. And one of them being a surprise one, actually. I think I would take out the Meat Hook Massacre. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, right? Because it is a really good removal tool. I didn't really think that this card performed up to the standards that I thought it would. I think Culling Ritual, if we up this to 4 and just get rid of the Meat Hook Massacre altogether, we could add some more tools in here to maybe go into our opponent's hand even more, or like, you know, maybe combat the control matchup a little bit more by putting in some cards that'll help us in that department. But as far as like removal and staying alive and gaining life, everything does such a great job of doing that with the Cram Session, the Sunset Revelry, and then 4 of these would be plenty because these are really nice for, you know, mono green, mono white. There were 1 or 2 times, I can't remember if it was in playtesting or in the video, that Meat Hook came through for us okay, but it would have been just as good if I didn't have them and a Culling was in my hand instead. So I think I'm gonna do that, and then I could also up the Lolth Spider as well to 4, and then we could add maybe 1 more Paladin class, maybe just kind of spread it out like that: 1 Paladin, 1 Ritual, 1 Lolth, and just take out all the Meat Hook Massacres. And that might work pretty well too. I'm not too sure, but there is some ways I think that we can tinker with this to make it a little bit better. I do like Check for Traps. I think it's the best option for us for the control matchup and getting all those cards taken out of our opponent's hands. I wish we had some more though, some more answers to that problem. Maybe adding a couple go blanks in here could be good because we can exile our opponent's graveyard. There's some things we could do for sure. But I really like the list. Overall, I think it performed phenomenally. As always, if you guys have any ideas on how to make it better, definitely leave it down below in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you thought about the deck. And then, yeah, that's it, guys. Before we hop out of here and say our goodbyes, another video will be coming out Wednesday as always, and then we will have a live stream as well later that night. So be sure to hop in and join that as well. I'd really appreciate seeing you guys there and hanging out. And lastly, and not least, the Marty Mob. Thank you guys so much. I always like to give my Marty Mob a huge shout out at the end of all of my videos because they are members on this channel that help support the channel monetarily. They do get a few perks and benefits added to their you know, membership as well, but for the most part they're supporting me in my dream and my channel, and so I got to say a huge thank you and shout out to them. Super supportive group of people, and I can't thank you enough for everything you do for me. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you next time. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace out.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Fizzy, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. Where's the upload, man? Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks to the meta. This ain't cheap.